The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
All right, it is Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. Heck, we change. We dropped this show different days, and as always, we appreciate you guys for being patient with us as we kind of try to settle back into a routine. But we are episode 22, I believe, and it's going to be a drop. This is dropping on 2/2/22. So how ironic is that? And that was just pure coincidence. That was not planned. That was just a happy
sheer laziness, because we should have recorded it last night and we didn't because of me. So,
ladies and gentlemen, you heard it there. Joey K's taking the blame.
It's the first time ever.
I'm gonna take that load for the team. It's all right.
It's not the first time you've done that either.
Definitely not the first time.
Definitely not the last time either.
Exactly.
I hear it's good for your skin, and you look radiant.
I'd fuck me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shooting Shit starts now. I just gotta have a reason to play beep every once in a while. So,
what is wrong with you?
I start piling on the investment money.
okay, are we good now, guys? Are we good?
It was worth it me saying that just to hear Jovan giggle like a little girl.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big time mark of Jay and Silent Bob, and when they did the Buffalo Build thing, I just died, dude, every single time.
Jay and Silent Bob, man, that's classic, dude. By the way, if you ever get a chance to meet Jason Mewes in person, do it. He is one awesome dude.
Oh, I'm doing it when they're here in Dallas. They're here in June, I think, and I'm about to buy my tickets.
Nice.
Yeah, man, you will not regret it. He is such a cool dude. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Shooting Shit, episode 22. As always, I am one of the three wacky co-hosts of this show, DDJ. Joining me to my left, if you're watching this on YouTube, is the premier Joey K. And down below in his favorite position is the hot one, Giovanni Tuhati. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you calling out Jovan as the true bottom that he is. And second of all,
power bottom to you, sir. Power bottom.
Pause for laughter. And we're going on. This is the Pacific Island Playboy, the premier Joey K, ready for all the fucking number twos. Whether you want to drop one on the floor, on Jovan's chest, who cares? 2/2/22, episode 22. Let's fucking rock and roll.
Deuces.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my episode, and Joey K's trying to hijack it. This is the 2/2/22 episode for nobody other than the one and only Giovanni Tuhati, El Guapo Tuhati, your favorite Tuhati. But apparently, I like the Tuhati on the chest. So, who cares?
He's also
Let's
our
get
favorite
going.
number two.
I'm number two. Who does number two work for? You know? Let's go.
All righty then. Well, obviously, the big thing coming out of this past week since we last were graced your presence, we had a little event that happened called the Royal Rumble. Is come and gone. The Rumble winners have happened. We had some pretty good matches, some not so good matches. So just a lot of things coming out of the Royal Rumble. Obviously the biggest pieces of news were, well, if we want to call
Once
it
again,
that,
number two.
All about the number two.
You had your Rumble winners with or the returning Ronda Rousey winning the Women's Royal Rumble, and then Brock Lesnar, your former WWE champion, coming back to win the men's Royal Rumble. And I believe was announced that he set the record for the shortest amount of time in the ring for a Rumble winner. And I think he was only in there for about like 3-4 minutes.
I think he was the first person to win at 30 also, isn't he?
No, he's not. There's somebody else that's done it, but it's 27. I still believe is the number that's produced the most winners, but there's been a couple of people that have won from 30.
Didn't McMahon win it from 30?
No, he was number 2.
Of course he was on the 222 episode.
Yeah,
That makes perfect sense. Who the somebody like that was at 30 and
wasn't it Taker one year?
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, somebody has won it from number 30.
I don't know. Why do I think that like McMahon came out one year at 30?
No, he's only was in the one Royal Rumble match, and that was the one he won in '99. Because that was the year Austin went in as 1 and McMahon went in as 2.
Yeah.
But McMahon was out of the ring so much because they jumped Austin in the women's bathroom, and then he came back to the crowd and did commentary till Austin came back. So
all right,
That's
January 28th, 2007, The Undertaker at 30. January 27, 2008, John Cena at number 30. Triple H in 2016 at number 30.
Okay.
And now Brock Lesnar at number 30 as well. So 30's got a little bit of a list on it.
that's right. I forgot Triple H was number 30 in the that year in the Rumble.
Yep.
And that's so I believe the number 30 spot has tied the number 27 spot for producing the most Rumble match winners. But then we also had few good, few decent matches. You had my personal favorite match from that night, Seth Rollins getting a disqualification win over Roman Reigns in what I thought was a very entertaining match, especially with Rollins doing the Shield entrance.
This is the best match of the night.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. What did you? Well, let
Yes.
me go over the results here real quick, and then we'll get your we'll get a Giovanni Tuhati hot take here. We had Becky Lynch defeating Doudrop. We had Edge and Beth Phoenix beating the Miz and Mrs. Miz, aka Maurice, and then we had Bobby Lashley defeating Brock Lesnar for the WWE title with the assistance of one Roman Reigns and the shocking, well, maybe not necessarily shocking betrayal by the advocate Paul Heyman. But so both Joey K and I are in agreement that Rollins versus Reigns was the match of the night. Giovanni Tuhati, what say you?
Guys, I understand that that's the sexy pick. That's the good pick for match of the night. Rollins came out in full Shield gear. He
Of course
looked
it's a sexy
good.
pick. We're 2 sexy beasts here.
There you go. But I mean, the match was real good, but you knew there was no way Roman was dropping the title. So to me, that kind of took me out of that match. It was a great way to start. I'm not going to lie to you. If you start the pay-per-view off with your strongest match, that's what you want to do. But to me, I thoroughly enjoyed Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Yes, the end result was a little wonky with, what everybody saw coming, and then everybody kind of instantly were like, oh, well, he's going to win the Rumble then. But the match with Bobby Lashley, for me, it's been what we've been waiting for a while. They at least did better than, I would have expected. I expected this to be a DQ loss really fast. But some of the work that Bobby put in, Lashley put in, Lesnar put in some good work. I mean, to me, finish aside, it was a damn good matchup.
I can't, it's a good take and stuff. I just felt like that, I really wish they would have, made Lashley look a little bit stronger by actually decisively beating Brock versus, basic capitalizing on what happened with Heyman and Roman and stuff, but I mean, and this is something I want to talk about a little bit later, but are either of you guys confused by the way they've been booking Bobby Lashley? Because it seems like when he comes to the ring now, he's high-fiving people, and glad handing with the fans and stuff. But it's just like the minute he starts talking or the way he acts in the ring, it's like, he's playing the heel. So it's like and we saw a little bit of that on Raw Monday night as well too. He comes to the ring with the belt, high-fiving the fans. Brock comes out, wants a match, and being that, and in a true heel fashion, Lashley denying, and it's just, I don't know. I was like, are either of you guys like me confused by the way they've been booking Lashley?
It's not just Lashley though. The problem is it's not Lashley. You had 2 title matches with 4 fucking heels.
Yes.
Like that's the confusing part.
You don't have anyone to root for.
Roman's a true heel, but Rollins is a heel too. Like, don't fucking get it twisted. He's a complete heel character. So, so who do you cheer for? You don't have a clear baby face. You don't have somebody teasing a turn. Now you're closer with Brock Lesnar, but it's still fucking Brock Lesnar. And people show up to see him fucking F5 and suplex the shit out of anybody in his path. So he's still a heel, kind of a baby face. But then you have Lashley come out, like you said, he's coming out like he's the fucking fan favorite, but he still wrestles a heel style. And then when he gets on the microphone, he's still a fucking heel. Like, it doesn't change. And he's got the fucking heel manager to go with. And until Saturday night, so did Brock Lesnar. So what the fuck? Like, it's 4 heels and 2 title matches. It's the complete utter shit booking. Also, let's go deeper. Doudrop and Becky Lynch,
2 heels,
fucking heels. Like, okay, so there's 3 title matches with heels. The only true match there was the fucking Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. That's the only match you had a clear babyface team and a clear heel team. Outside of that, and that's also how it's been too. That's WWE's booked themselves into a fucking corner, like unbelievably so.
So do y'all think this is like a lack of them being able to build that next star that they keep having to rely on heels?
That is well, it's not
That's
even
part
that.
of it.
Their lack of being able to build a star. I'm going to give you 3 fucking names right now.
Get it.
Alexa Bliss, Cesaro, Finn Balor. Where the fuck were they on Saturday night?
That's a good question.
Because you have 3 people who are very over with fans. Whether WWE wants to admit that or not, I don't really give 2 flying fucks. But the truth is, all 3 are super over with the crowd for whatever they do. And they weren't even on the fucking show. But we have to sit through a bunch of other bullshit. Like, that is... They don't know how to build stars, and that's exactly why you have Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar as the winners of the Rumble. Like, whoop-de-fucking-do. Like,
I mean, I'll counter that, though. I mean, yes, they do have an issue with building stars, and they have an issue with falling into their same patterns of, hey, I need a big draw, so we need to bring in this part-timer to win this belt, and it does suck for people who continue to watch the product and who hope for a change, and we'll get into that in a little bit too, because of what WWE was promising and what they gave us, basically a giant shit sandwich. But I think the whole mindset behind Brock and Ronda is Mania's in Dallas. That's a big 100,000 seater that they're having to fill for 2 nights.
2 nights. So it's a tall task, and
you have to pull out your big guns, your big draws that people that aren't just wrestling fans might come to see. You've got UFC people who might come just to see Ronda Rousey, who might come just to see Brock Lesnar. So they're banking on that cross factor to kind of help out their sales for that stadium.
But see, the thing that it bugs me is the booking is just crap for the most part and everything. But it's like the roster that they have, it's so damn talented. But it's just like the people that are making the decisions can't seem to see, like, what the fans see, or they choose not to see what the fans see.
Do y'all want me to go one deeper real quick on Mania booking?
Go ahead.
Go for it.
This is COVID. When they're trying to sell out 100,000 seat stadium. International flights and international travel right now may not be a very good option with everything looking like it's going to start tightening up, even though it is in Texas, which pretty much has a laissez-faire view on COVID. You still have to get out of your country of origin. Any WrestleMania I've ever been to is a very thick international presence. So they're trying to get those home-based fans from the U.S. who might travel to see the UFC stars.
Well, I think some, like, the restrictions have been, on international travel, have been eased a little bit and stuff. I mean, it's obviously not to where it was, pre-pandemic, and who knows when or even if that'll ever happen. But I mean, yeah, it's just obviously that, usually WrestleMania, a majority of the people that are in attendance come from all over the world. They always tout about how, like 50 countries represented, all 50 states and everything. And it's just, with everything, obviously COVID's playing a role in that, but it's just, yeah, I mean, this is almost like, I want to say, I mean, I don't want to say this is like, like WrestleMania 3, where they had to sell out, or else, Vince would have been done back then. Like, thankfully he had Hogan and Andre that sold out the Silver Dome. But I mean, it's just, things have changed so much, to where we're at now compared to back then and stuff. But I mean, it's just, I feel like if they would actually focus on building new stars, maybe this wouldn't be as, dire of a situation that it looks like it's going to be. Because if I'm not mistaken, like, aren't they offering like package deals or something? They're resorting to offering package deals if you go both nights or something, Giovanni?
Yeah, they do have the 1 ticket 2 night option, which is actually not that bad of a price.
I mean, speaking of which, it's in your neck of the woods. You're planning on going, aren't you?
I will be at Mania. I will, no matter what.
Nice. So, but going back in, now that we're on the road to WrestleMania, let's say we've already talked about who won the Rumble. What were your thoughts on the Rumble matches themselves? Just over, not talking about the winners, but just the matches themselves.
Well, truthfully, the better of the two is the women's.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
Yes.
The better of the two was the women's match, which I mean, it had its moments. It had some little spots in there that were some things that I was not a fan of, but overall, that was the better match. The men's match I thought was a pile of dog shit. It was a pile of dog shit for a few reasons. Number one, you get all the fucking returns and surprises and the forbidden fucking door again in the women's match. And the entire time, and this is also WWE painting themselves in the corner, because you start to get used to who's going to show up, surprise or anything. And you really didn't have that in the men's match. I'm sorry. I'm not fucking popping for Shane McMahon. I don't really give a flying fuck. He doesn't
Here
have
comes
to
the
be
money.
there.
I
No,
want to say I think the only two real surprises in that the men's Rumble was Shane McMahon and then Drew McIntyre showing up, I believe, at like 20 or 21. Because I mean, I'm only just saying because there was,
He was injured.
Yeah, he was injured and stuff, and nobody knew when he was coming back.
I didn't even know he was fucking injured, nor did I care. Like, no offense, but like, Jesus fucking Christ. This isn't fucking Cena coming back from a torn tricep after like fucking 2 months. This isn't fucking Triple H returning after a fucking quad tear. Dude, it's Drew McIntyre. And you can fucking tell me to you're blue in the fucking face, and I'm not going to listen to it, that, oh, Drew McIntyre is over and he's this and that. I just don't, I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not a big fan of his character. I'm not a big fan of anything he's done outside of when he first won the title. And
Yeah,
again, I said it before. He was cursed because he won the title in a fucking empty fucking locker room.
Yep.
Like an empty little fucking shoebox building that they aired on fucking the network. And I think that match was so lackluster and so shitty and booked terribly.
Yeah.
You start off 1 and 2. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep.
That should be a fucking Kickstarter. And for me, it was. I was like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Funny story with that. I popped for that. My wife was I was watching in the living room. My wife was watching it with me, and you guys know she's not really that much of a wrestling fan. And for some reason, she does not like Shinsuke Nakamura. I think she has this thing about the guys with the long hair, so she just doesn't like it and stuff. But she just for some reason does not like Shinsuke Nakamura. And if she happens to come down here or something, I'm gonna actually bring her on and have her tell her side of why she doesn't like Nakamura, which should be quite entertaining.
I don't know if that's a good idea with me. I really don't know if that's gonna be a great idea with me.
Well, I'm sure you can be a gentleman, for at least a couple minutes. I have that little faith in you.
I wouldn't. I would not.
That is well misplaced, sir, because I don't have that faith in me.
But
the things I've heard him say.
But anyways, going back to the story here, my wife was like, Nakamura's not going to last long. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, these two, they're going to go, they'll both go about, 20, maybe 25, 30 minutes. Like I honestly thought when AJ came on number 1, it's like, all right, he's going to go almost all the way. Like
I thought he was going to be in the final 4.
I thought so too. But Nakamura got eliminated. I want to say he wasn't even maybe in the match like 7-8 minutes. And then I kind of had to eat a little crow there and be like, she's like, my wife's like, I called it. And I looked at her, I was like, yeah, you did.
Dude, I wanted to see Nakamura get to the end and him and Brock Lesnar face off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why the fuck? Like, there's so many good things that could have happened and just nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The best thing that could have happened was Finn Balor coming out at 3. That place would have lost its mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the problem would have been they would have booed ridiculously because they don't give a shit about Finn. He would have been eliminated right after Nakamura. So, and then it would be like, okay, whatever. Let's wait for Titus to slide under the ring like a fucking dope again. Like,
oh, come on. That's man of the year.
Okay. At your point being, he's slicker than goose shit. He slid like 8 feet, dude. Like, come on.
God, that's still funny.
That's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen.
And the only reason why it was funny is because he didn't get hurt. Like, if he would have gotten hurt, that would have been really, really bad. But
good way to stay wholesome.
Yeah. But one of the things that really just like irked me about this Rumble were some of the, you had Madcap Moss eliminating AJ Styles.
Don't even fucking break that.
I don't even remember who eliminated Big E, but Big E's elimination was just like
they did it on a cutaway. I think they had to come back. They're like, "Oh, Big E is gone."
Another thing, there were at least 2 or 3 instances, I believe, at least just in the men's Rumble alone, where they cut away right before or right after someone got eliminated, and then they had to show it on replay.
I thought we were watching AEW for a minute there. All the best spots are picture in picture, or they have to replay it because nobody on TV fucking saw it. Like, Jesus Christ.
You had to sneak in a shot.
Did Tony Khan... I'm literally wearing their fucking sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Did Tony Khan show up and be like, yeah, we don't need to show that? Okay, sure. Like, that's what it felt like. That was terrible. There was a lot of terrible spots. And it's a bad night. A real fucking bad night. And shit was going downhill fast when Kofi botched.
I've sitting there. I'm watching, like, he comes out, he's going at it with KO, and he's going up top, and Owens goes, I think knocks him off the top turnbuckle, and he goes to land, and I'm watching this, I'm thinking, oh fuck, like, no, he didn't, like, no. I'm like, okay, there's got to be some way they can cover it up because he's got to have his creative way or whatever to avoid being eliminated. but the one time the camera was actually on something, the camera caught him with both of his feet touching the floor, and I want to say I don't even think he lasted a minute in the Rumble.
Dude, if there was ever anybody that the fan base gives a pass on to botches, it's Kofi. If you didn't show his feet touch that ground, we would have been fine with him posting himself on that wall like he never fell. Nobody would have said shit.
Yep, they cut that angle too hard to show the fucking floor. And I'll tell you this, my fucking Royal Rumble MVP, Pat McAfee. The highlight of the fucking men's Rumble, okay, was Pat McAfee. If that tells you what I thought about the fucking match overall.
Dancing on the table.
You know what? Like, Pat McAfee is the best thing to happen to WWE commentary in years.
Yes.
I agree. And you know,
by the way,
he froze up.
If you
when
guys
Kofi
haven't ever had a chance, check out his show on SiriusXM. It is really good.
Dude, I've been listening to the Pat McAfee show since 2017? Just a regular podcast. When he did the podcast, when he was part of Barstool, then he split off of Barstool and did it on his own. Came to Pat McAfee show 2.0. And then they got the Sirius show that they do live every day now. Podcast is still out there. If you don't have Sirius, you can get they do an edited highlight version for the podcast. Yeah.
I think it's on YouTube as well. I think the show.
Oh yeah, they record it for YouTube. And they do a lot of ways to watch it.
And he just signed. Like, congrats to him and his guys, because they just signed that mega deal with I believe it's FanDuel or whatever, where he's making like some serious money now.
Oh yeah, he signed like a huge like
sponsorship deal,
like $50 million deal or some crazy bullshit like that. And good on them, because their content's great. He's hilarious. Dude, watch him on College Game Days. Watch him when he was on fucking Monday Night Football with Eli and Peyton. Like, anything he does. He even did Monday Night Football shows not this season. That's wrapping, but last season they had him on for a Monday night game. And he's fucking gold on all the things he does. He was the highlight of the Rumble for me. Just listen to him give his fucking take on everything, and I love it. But even he froze up when Kofi botched, and I was like, oh, if you made McAfee freeze up, you know it's a shitty fucking night. And this whole thing about Shane McMahon coming out and like taking over, like, dude, no one gives a flying fuck, bro. Stop. Like, let's just stop.
It's just you talk about Shane McMahon, like, there's no purpose for it. Like, Johnny Knoxville being in the Royal Rumble made more sense than Shane McMahon being in the Royal Rumble.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not even going to bitch about. Okay, I'll bitch about this. 2 celebrities in the Rumble. Johnny Knoxville did things the way you should.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny can eat a fat sack of shit, because I cannot stand that little fuck. And okay. Knoxville comes in, doesn't really get shit done, has a little moment of hitting he hit Sammy, right?
No, I know he had an exchange with AJ Styles as well too.
Oh, so yeah, he gets a shot in, but then he gets laid out by everybody, which is what you expect, because he's a fucking celebrity. He's not a professional wrestler. You can't put celebrities over like that. I'm sorry, I'm not in the camp of doing that. But you have this fucking little twat waffle, Bad Bunny, come in, and like you want me to believe that he's taking out the top WWE superstars? Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, are you on drugs? Because that is the worst fucking thing you can do, in my opinion. You make your actual wrestlers who are there every week, who have stories, who have characters to build on, and you make them look like shit because Bad Bunny rolls in one night and takes everybody out. Get the fuck out of here. That drives me insane.
All right. I had to listen to you guys go over there and suck off McAfee, which we're not even getting paid for. Pat, if you feel obligated, you could hit up the shooting shit guys with the good check for the promotion. But anyways, what we will not do.
Hey, before you do your take, You have no room to talk about sucking off people there, Moose season.
Yeah.
Let me text my good buddy Moose.
Anyway.
Wait, how can you text your good buddy Moose when you're too busy slobbering all over his knob?
I didn't even bring up Moose this whole episode, and now y'all going off on that one. Okay. Anyways,
you started
ladies.
the fire. I put it out.
All right, now, what we will not do is put any kind of shade on Bad Bunny. You got to understand, there was two different kind of celebrities in that match. Johnny Knoxville has never been in a wrestling ring. He's never done anything professionally. Whereas Bad Bunny had his match. He's at least trained. He put in the work. And you can't love the guy at Mania and hate him in the Rumble. It makes no sense. So for him coming into the Rumble, yeah, it kind of makes a little sense because, you know, we're probably seeing future WWE Hall of Famer in the celebrity wing Bad Bunny. But he's adding to that, you know, to that laundry list of reasons why he'll be put in. And he comes in, he gets a pop. Hold on.
You really believe your own shit right now?
Hold on. He comes in. He gets a cheap elimination. He hits his two little moves that he can do that look pretty decent. And then he gets thrown out. It's not like he went in there a wreck shop. He wasn't Brock Lesnar. He went in there and showed that he does know how to do a few moves. He didn't look horrible doing them. He came in, did what he needed to do, got the cheap pop, and got out.
I'm sorry, but anyone of our age, we're the reason that they had to put up the don't try this at home. Any one of us could probably do some shit that looked halfway decent because we watched it long enough and been fans long enough that we pretty much can pull some shit. Right?
Does this look like the body of a guy who could pull off some of that shit?
Yes.
Like
Have you not seen Jelly Janela fight?
You guys need to get your eyes checked if you think I could pull off some of that stuff.
Buddy, if Jelly Nutella could do it, I have faith in you.
Exactly. And you know
Bad
what?
me and all.
Dude, if Swoggle can do it, you can do it, DDJ. That's where I'm going.
Right.
But hold on. You let's back this fucking train up real quick. This motherfucker is a Hall of Fame. The fact that you even said he's piling on for his Hall of Fame stat. Are you out of your fucking mind? No, he didn't have a great match at WrestleMania. He wasn't fantastic. He was a fucking sideshow gimmick. That's what he was. That's what he is. He's a fucking musician. He doesn't belong in there. And
Okay,
I'll tell you why.
Cornette, give me a second. Cornette, give me a second. Please give me a second, Corny.
God
Please,
damn it.
Go eat a double cheeseburger.
Calm down, Corny. We have to know that WWE has put celebrities in the Celebrity Hall of Fame for the WWE for less. This dude's actually been in the ring. He's getting in. Whether we like it or not, you can cry about it with Corny when it happens. But this dude at least is coming in here and trying.
Okay. I've come in a lot of people trying. It doesn't make me a fucking talented superstar. I got him again. No,
I'm just sitting here thinking, dear God, we're gonna get thrown off the air.
In all seriousness, though, he's not talented. He's not great. I don't really care to see him show up. He is there, just like Ronda Rousey's there. He's there, just like Brock Lesnar's there. He's a fucking attraction.
He's not there for you.
But the difference is, at least those other two are fucking, I would say, professional wrestlers. He is not. He's there for a fucking paycheck. He's there because they backed a shitload of money up to him while they slept on two other male superstars that didn't even get to fucking sniff around catering. That's where I have a fucking problem. Same thing with Shane fucking McMahon, because he's only there for a fucking car crash. He's there for whatever WrestleMania shit that he's going to book himself into so he can throw himself off of something bigger and better this year. And everybody goes, ooh, ah, and it makes a fucking highlight reel. That's all Shane's there for, too.
Let me put you on the spot here real quick, Joey K. You could go back and rebook the Rumble, but you could only remove either, and you have to pick one. You can't come up with some bullshit, answer or anything like that. But if you could if you had to choose between removing Shane McMahon or Bad Bunny, You can only pick one, and you have to pick one. You can't come up with some. Who would you remove?
Bad Bunny.
Okay.
Hands down, because at least Shane has proven over the years
European champion, hardcore champion,
and he can have a spot.
Champion,
and he's had
champion,
and he's had good matches. But
the best in the world Rumble winner.
He's had good matches. I won't deny that. But he's there for a gimmick. He's there for the car crash, and it's the same. It's no fucking different.
Did you like Mankind?
Did I like Mankind?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Mick Foley a lot. And if you're gonna compare, you're gonna compare the attraction of what Mick Foley would do to that. In that case, are you a fan of Terry Funk? Are you a fan of fucking Onita? Are you a fan of Nick Gage? Are you a fan of anything deathmatch wrestling?
You know I am.
Exactly. So how can you sit there and compare that type of wrestling to a celebrity, a musician coming in and having a couple spots?
Shane's not a celebrity though, or a musician. That's where the difference comes in, man. He's at least a legitimate wrestler. Yes, people don't like him. He's the boss's son. He comes in whenever, but he at least can go. Shane has done some things that I think he doesn't get enough respect for.
Fair. I'll give you that point.
Yeah.
But counterpoint to that is what Shane McMahon most known for.
His big spots.
And burn.
Right. He crashes and burns. And it's going into WrestleMania season. So why was Shane McMahon in the Royal Rumble? To set himself up to crash and burn somewhere in front of 100,000 people in Texas. That's it. That's it. And I would say the same thing if they fucking rolled Mick Foley down the fucking to the ring with one fucking hip and whatever the fuck he's working with nowadays.
Hey, that hip is repaired. He's doing great.
Well, good on him. Mine's not. I got to get my shit fixed. But like the truth is, like I would have said the same thing. They're only bringing him out for one fucking purpose. At this point, at this stage in the game, that's it. There's no other reason. And Bad Bunny, they're saying that was a one-off deal. So that was for nothing. The Knoxville thing, at least, God damn it, at least everybody's transparent. Nobody's fucking denying it's for promotion of the new Jackass movie.
I cannot wait to go see that movie, by the way.
I'm very confused on why they would promote that, knowing that Darby Allin is in the movie.
You know what?
You really think they actually know that?
No, I don't.
Let me be real. Do you think anybody around the level of Vince McMahon really actually realizes Darby Allin, an AEW contracted talent, is in that movie?
No.
They don't fucking know that. And it doesn't even matter. It's not Knoxville booking himself in there or trying to get into it. It's the fucking production company getting him in. It's the fucking distribution. It's major talent saying, hey, we reach out to WWE. We'd like to do something. What do you think about this? And they say, oh, that's a great idea. Let's go ahead and do it. I
would have rather seen a WLC with Wee Man and Swoggle.
Hey, speaking of which, you see that video that was going around of Brock Lesnar slamming Wee Man through the table?
And I heard the restaurant was really pissed about it.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Like I read that like the restaurant was really upset that happened, and I'm like, fuck.
Now,
dude,
ladies, you guys have been just talking like some pair of old ladies. If I can go back to the women's rumble for a minute,
go,
because I didn't get a shot because Joey K took us straight to the men's.
Well, I mean, truth be told,
it's what he
likes.
likes.
Not going to get a shot in there.
I know. Probably won't.
No.
Okay, okay. We're waiting.
Anyway,
wait, hold on. His internet's going to drop out, so it won't matter anyway. Go ahead, start.
Oh, I have no issues right now. How you like that shit? Yeah,
you got issues, brother.
You say that now.
You all got some issues. It's not the internet.
I didn't. Oh, you bastard. Anyway, go shit yourself. Anyway, this is why you can't do this with people like Joey K. No, anyway. Melina, awesome addition to the women's rumble. Wish they would have given her a little bit more shine.
She still got it though.
She does, and I mean, she's in the NWA. It's not like she's not wrestling. She showed more than enough that she's got it.
Yeah.
Who kind of surprised me that looks a little rusty is Lita. Lita kind of looks like she's maybe doesn't have as much as I was hoping.
I mean, what is she's been technically retired for what, like 15 years now?
Yeah, but you would think as much as she was pushing to try to do something, she would have been in a little bit better conditioning.
Well, I
In
mean,
my mind.
that comes with time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she'll be ready by Mania, which Joey K will probably hate that she's coming out for Mania.
Well, then he's gonna hate because
She's in
coming out of,
Elimination Chamber against Becky.
yeah, I was
There
gonna
we
say
go.
yeah, she's
But
gonna be wrestling Becky
no,
Lynch.
I don't have a problem with that because you know, the thing with Lita, it's hard to tell in a Royal Rumble match though, because there's so much shit going on. You're not working a legit match. You're pairing off with people. You're working in a corner. You're letting other people get their shit in. Then you step in and take a moment in the spotlight. Then you're back to like working the ropes. Royal Rumble matches are hard to gauge where somebody's at, like physically, or if they're, you know, oh, they still got it or not. It's not, and that's why it's more surprising when somebody like comes in and really like, holy shit, somebody comes back from an injury or something like that. And like, I know I already shit on Drew McIntyre, but true, like he comes in, yeah, obviously he doesn't miss a step, like he does his shit. And it looked fine, it looked good. Personally, I just didn't. It wasn't a big surprise. Oh wow, Drew McIntyre's back! Yay! I don't really care, but
Right. Well,
but you know, it's hard to gauge. It's hard to gauge that. So
I'll give you that
what,
one. That's
yeah.
fair.
I mean, let's see
That's
how
fair.
she does with Becky at Elimination Chamber. That's a whole different fucking ball game.
Yeah,
That's fair. I'll give her time.
yeah.
Ivory, I popped real hard for right to
That
censor.
was
That was
great.
amazing.
And they fucking did it so good.
Yes.
That was a highlight.
You know what? You know what? Real quick, one thing I liked from that women's, because you talked about Ivory, I liked what they did with Mighty Molly and Nikki ASH as well too.
Yeah, that was really good too.
I wouldn't mind a solo there.
Dude, the stories they built in the women's match were so fucking much better than the men's.
Yes.
Right.
Like you had, you know, you have Nikki and Molly, like the two fucking superhero characters. That's perfect. Like you just said with Ivory. I love that she came out with that gimmick. And while she was getting eliminated, still yelling into the microphone, she is so fucking good. Like I popped super hard for that too.
One other piece of work I liked from that Rumble as well too, was with what the Bellas did with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Like they were, you know, Sarah Logan come out and you could see Liv was just like about ready to just burst down because we all know, you know, how close they were from the, you know, basically breaking, you know, basically coming onto the main roster all at the same time, along with, you know, Ruby Riott, who's now Ruby Soho in AEW. But they were all set to have that little reunion, and the Bellas, like, you know, people shit on the Bellas a lot, but I don't think the Bellas can. I think they make really good heels, and I just love that little piece of heel work they did with you know, just breaking up or not letting, you know, Liv and Sarah have their little reunion. I actually I dug that too.
That was a highlight.
That was good. Now, for my hot topic from the women's match that I've been trying to get to for the women's Rumble. To everybody in the IWC who claims that WWE did more for Impact Wrestling by having Mickie James in the Rumble, by having her show up with the belt, playing her music down to the ring.
Which I popped for.
It was a great entrance. It was. But you can tell that they specifically hit camera angles not to show the title. They did the best that they could to cut to the ring, cut to her, so you didn't really see her with that belt.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really acknowledge her as champion, except for I think McAfee did.
He did in the intro.
Yeah, he did in the intro.
Mm-hmm.
And then a quick jab when she got eliminated when they said something like, well, I know she was hoping to make a bigger impact or something like that.
Yeah.
So for everybody who's saying that did more for Impact Wrestling than AEW did when Kenny Omega was their champion, that was on TV there, that raised their buy rates for most of their pay-per-views to all-time highs in a very long time, please kindly realign your thought process. That one little Rumble entrant did not do more for Impact than AEW did.
I'll one up you. and say this. Impact has done more for the world of professional wrestling in the past year plus than any other company has done.
Yes.
I like that. That's
because it's Impact who are doing the fucking business. You have a chunk of time where your title is on a wrestler in another promotion. That's business that you don't see very often.
no.
You have a talent share with the biggest companies in the US right now. That's doing a lot.
They're sharing with everybody.
This
From-
invasion angle, which is amazing.
I love it. I mean, the Impact is doing more than anybody, and anybody who wants to go otherwise. Well, AEW does this for him. I don't give a fuck. If Impact doesn't play ball, you don't see a lot of that shit happen.
Agreed. I mean, you're also looking. Since we're talking about Impact here. I know Jay White's back in Impact. I know the
GOD.
the GOD is going to be there and stuff. So we're finally going to kind of get that Bullet
They've
Club
been there.
we're getting that Bullet Club Civil War with GOD and the Good Brothers. It sounds like that's where we're headed towards. I mean,
See, I try not to bring it up because of the way you guys brutally bashed me earlier over the Impact Heavyweight Champion, but even he put out there on Twitter that Impact Wrestling has the best wrestling that no one's watching right now, and it's true.
That's 100% true.
I 1,000% agree with that.
We've said before the women's division in Impact is the most stacked women's division there is.
Yes.
I wholeheartedly stand behind that. And now between all their workings and dealings from New Japan to AEW to whatever, like it's the best wrestling that no one's watching.
Yeah.
And the
storylines are great.
Yes.
They have great workers and the stories are gold.
I mean, I can't argue with that.
And I mean, just from top to bottom, I mean, their women's roster, I think we've all been pretty much are in agreement that they have the best women's division. Impact has the best women's division. I mean, like you said, I think they've done more for professional wrestling than any other company. And we're seeing it because we're seeing, all these guys that are on their show being elsewhere. I mean, we talk about Jonah. I mean, he's showing up. He's part of New Japan. He's, Impact. We mentioned, GOD, Jay White. It stinks so badly for them that they're on a network like Access, which a lot of people don't have. I mean, could you imagine the numbers they would be pulling if they had anywhere close to the kind of TV that AEW was doing, or obviously they wouldn't, WWE. I mean, if they had just a major network like CBS or.
I don't even think that's fully the issue. I think wrestling fans have not forgiven Impact or TNA wrestling. They still have such a bad taste in their mouths from the Hogan era, the Dixie Carter era. A lot of people, I think, aren't even willing to give them a chance again, which is sad because, as we're saying, they are holding it down right now.
They need to quote that song from Frozen. They need to let it go because it's been 10 years, almost 11 years now since.
Yep.
All of those Nina mentioned Hogan, Bischoff, and Dixie have been part of the company. I mean, you know what? At the same time, if they're that narrow-minded or stubborn or whatever you want to call it, you know what? Then they lose out because we all talk about how Impact is the best wrestling out there that nobody's watching. They're missing out on it, because
have you met the IWC, man? They're very strong-headed. IWC, here's my one for the show. Do better.
And with the IW, it's just a shame that a great tool like social media, which when used properly is such a great thing. This show is the perfect example of social media gone right. If we didn't have social media, we wouldn't be doing this show right now. I wouldn't be listening to Joe talking about how he shits his pants all the time. I wouldn't have been able to sit down and, have a couple of beers with my boy, Giovanni Tuhati, at a wrestling show, a couple months ago and stuff. Like social media, when done right, is an amazing thing. But it's just there's so many people out there that use it as a platform to be kind of like you remember back in the day when like you were a kid and you wanted to go, you were at the swimming pool with like your if you had a swimming pool or you went to the public pool with your mom and dad and you're like going off the diving board and your stuff and you're like, Mom, Dad, look at me dive. Like there's like that one episode of The Simpsons where Homer discovers he has a half brother and they go up to his mansion in Detroit, and Bart and Lisa are like, oh, watch me dive. And Homer's like, all right already. Next thing you know, they jump off. Homer turns his head and is like, hey, you missed it, blah, blah, blah. That's the IWC because they're all like, ooh, look at me.
And I'll say this, and it's just the IWC, and I know we're going to get off a little bit. Hopefully we'll get back on track and get off of the IWC, but you guys are so fun to talk about because who in the hell does the IWC think they are to make fun of Big Swole and Cedric Alexander's child? Somebody threw out there,
Oh my God.
did
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander and Big Swole's child like seeing somebody like her win the Royal Rumble this year? Guys, fuck it. I'm doing it twice. Do better. What is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
I was, we're all parents here. I've got a little boy. I know Javon's got a teenage girl. Joey K's got a little baby boy, and then he's got an older daughter and stuff. And it's just if this person out here who, and I don't think we should dignify, what this or glorify or even bring to attention what this person said, because if you most likely you probably already know what's being said. It doesn't need to be discussed here, but I hope to God that this person is not a parent himself, because if he is, there's a special place in hell for someone like that.
Yeah, you're a fucking scumbag for talking shit on people's personal lives and their kids. Like the entitlement to let me, because you get to watch them perform and entertain week in and week out on whatever show. You're not fucking entitled to criticizing their personal lives, to talking shit about their kids, like anything like that. Like that's fucked up. You want to make fun of somebody's character, that's part of the game. That's called heat, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you want. You want people cheering, you want people booing for your character. And it's no different than when people some fucking asshole was going back and forth, which I say some fucking asshole, another wrestler was going back and forth with Jordan Grace talking shit.
Yeah.
Guy's barely a fucking wrestler. Let me be clear. He fucking sucks. That guy is the shits. And, you're going to talk shit about somebody who busts her fucking ass every day and is one of the faces of the Impact Women's Division. Not to mention,
one step further, she's one of the faces of Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, correct.
Division.
Great assessment. And to go further, that her fucking husband will outwork this fucking buffoon 6 ways to fucking Sunday and have him crying and pissing himself if he really wanted to.
Well, I'm sure she would do it too.
I'm like, so it's not even the IWC. It's if you're going to be a fucking troll in general, get fucked, go home, get off the internet.
There needs to be, more people like Dana Brooks' boyfriend who basically found someone who was trolling Dana, and I think either smacked him or punched him, basically, because the thing is there all these trolls and all these people on Twitter, they feel like the reason why they are as bold as they are is because they feel like they're invincible because they're behind a computer screen.
Yep.
If Twitter involved some sort of actual interaction with the person you're communicating with, Twitter would probably be a way less toxic place, because the thing is, and the one key word is, and then after this, we probably get back on track here to finish up talking about the Rumble here. But the one word that comes to mind is that, you know, that people that are tweeting and doing all this stuff, they don't have anyone to hold them accountable.
Yep.
Yeah. There's
no accountability.
Complete lack of accountability.
There needs to be a run that fade button in social media. Somebody gets you to that point, click that button. Hey, they got to get the smoke. This is where they live. Show up if you want to.
Yeah.
So
that's fucking awful. You know, it's no different than fans jumping the barricade. It's no different than fucking really super offensive signs. I mean, these people, they're real people.
Yep.
They're not fucking cartoon characters.
No.
You know, like
they're not comic book characters. They're like you said, they're men and women who are going out there and putting their lives on and their bodies on the line to entertain people like you, the three of us here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to something good, gentlemen.
Can I add one more thing that I really like from the Women's Royal Rumble? And then you guys would have
make it snappy because I gotta go take a shit soon.
Oh boy! Well, ladies and gentlemen, the no episode of Shooting Shit would be complete without Joey K saying he has to go take a shit. So
hey, I gotta take a squirt. It is what it is.
And that's it's the only way the Cleveland Browns are ever getting to the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's harsh.
But one of the things I really liked from the Rumble was when the timer went off and Bad Reputation played, and like literally every woman in that ring stopped what they were doing, turned towards the ring, the entranceway, and when they saw Ronda come out, it's almost like in some way, shape, or form, each one of those women in the ring was like, "Oh shit, we're fucked." I love that because
which is what they're supposed to do when the fucking big draw comes out, like all the big badass come, and they all played it perfect.
Yep,
you know.
I just said I really liked that. Was like one that was probably actually my favorite moment from the Women's Rumble was that visual right there.
Was Ronda number 30?
No, she was like 28, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah, because she came in.
Because Shayna was 30.
Yeah,
Shayna was 30. I wanted more out of that matchup. I wanted to see them two go at it.
No, well, see, that's the thing. They're trading partners in the past. They're friends. They're the real four horsewomen before there were four horsewomen in the WWE. I actually liked what they did though. Real quick, I did like that they like kind of looked at each other, smiled, acknowledged, and then just went back to beating everybody's ass in the ring.
Yeah,
that was done really well. You didn't need a big hug, and you didn't need that's not them. That's not their characters. It's not their style. So them kind of laughing like, all right, you're going to go beat the shit out of her. I'm going to go beat the shit out of this one. And like they went and did their business. That's all that needed to be done. I think that came out perfect too. That was another spot that I really liked.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
let me tell y'all something that we're missing on from the whole Rumble before we wrap up the Rumble as a whole. Bobby Lashley just became a 2-time WWE champion. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people don't like it. It's not the popular, sexy, choice. But for a company that hasn't really put over African-American talent in the high spot, for him to be one of the first ones that I can remember become a 2-time since The Rock, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
And not much acknowledge of that either. Like,
no,
I haven't really seen that acknowledged too much.
And
which is
strange.
It's
like they don't want to bring it out.
Well, I think that goes into the whole pandering category.
Yeah,
maybe they want to draw a line and not really hype that up too much because the argument's going to be, oh, you're just pandering to the crowd.
You're trying too hard,
right? So I get that you walk a fine line, but it's a big accomplishment and it should be acknowledged. And I don't mind Lashley as a champ. I really don't.
I don't either. I think it's honestly, it's the way to go for Monday Night Raw. One last thing I want to share on the Rumble, and this was something I discussed. I was on the latest episode of Wrestling with Johners, headed by John Scott, who is the man that is behind the Johners Podcasting Network, of which this show is a part of. One of the things we talked about when we were talking about the Rumble on Monday, one of the things I brought up is The biggest issue that I had with Brock Lesnar winning the Royal Rumble was that it was totally unnecessary, and this is why. What happened with Lesnar and Lashley, where Roman came out, speared Brock, then Heyman handed Roman the belt, and Roman clocked Brock with the belt, leading to Lashley getting the win and the title back. Brock had his path to WrestleMania right then and there. He could, the way he is, and how they build him up as him being this free agent that can do whatever he wants. He could have easily went to SmackDown and just been like, you know what, Brock or Roman, I'm going to beat your ass at WrestleMania. And there's your main event right there. They took away, the Rumble victory from someone who could have used it, like, say, Big E, who was my pick to win the Rumble. Someone like, Riddle, who was rumored to have been the original winner of the Rumble. Randy Orton. I mean, there are like a lot of guys who could have benefited more from having that Rumble victory than Brock Lesnar, who really didn't need it. Like, I just felt like that was totally unnecessary.
Dude, how about the untold story of Mustafa Ali putting on Twitter, no, I don't want to be in the Rumble. I want my release. And then him actually not showing up in the Rumble. I was waiting all the way till 30 for this man to pop out.
I love it. I love it.
That would have been great and stuff. So, guys, any last thoughts on the Rumble here?
Nah, fuck it. Move on.
All right. All right. So, Giovanni Tuhati, we had a little tournament this past weekend, Royal Rumble weekend. You want to talk a little bit about it?
A tournament? Oh, you know what? You must be talking about that tournament that's not aired live. And is probably one of the best things to happen in wrestling for a very long time, and has consistently been one of the best tournaments in all of pro wrestling in a very long time.
It's usually I believe, the biggest tournament in the U.S. every year. That's not, that on the independent circuit.
So if you guys do not know what we're talking about, you need to YouTube the Battle of LA. PWG's Battle of LA has consistently been the best damn tournament for your money. They have big names, they have draws, they have indie draws, guys. It's an amazing show.
Think about all the guys we're seeing on, on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays who have had spent time in PWG.
Yeah, no, that's a litany of people, man. And the thing is, sadly, we don't know fully how it broke down or who's done what or who. We know the winner of the tournament that was released, but we don't know how everything came out until they released the show. But what we do know is there was some bonkers things that went on that broke the internet from the people that were there. Joey K, talk about that spot, man, that you liked.
Dude, that spot. God. That looked like just a regular dive from, who was it? It was Cartwheel. What's his first name?
Jack Cartwheel, I think.
Jack Cartwheel getting ready to do a balcony dive onto a standing group of wrestlers. Okay, cool. Not like we haven't seen that before, but it's going to look good. We know that. Dives out, mid-dive, Blake Christian from the fucking ring dives off the top turnbuckle and hits a cutter, and they crash into the group standing there. One of the most wild fucking things I've seen in years.
And real quick, sorry to interrupt, but we all thought that the cutter we saw from Sam, the ladder match with Sammy Guevara landing on Cody Rhodes, it's like, okay, we see AEW does this cutter. PWG's like, hold my beer.
That, you know what? Up until the PWG clip of that Blake Christian cutter, the Sammy one onto Cody was pretty fucking awesome. And I still say it's pretty fucking awesome because
it is.
Because of what he did before. The cutter is huge, but the jump up, the leapfrog onto the top of the ladder. And if you guys don't watch wrestling a lot or don't watch a lot of ladder matches, those ladders are not made to jump off. They will kick out. They will go in a different direction. You see a lot of guys, fucking AJ Gray. Those ladders. You can't just jump off. Even Jeff Hardy, go back and watch Jeff Hardy. When he did a swanton off the top of the ladder, he just kind of falls into it. He doesn't dive off. It's not like how it looks when he's coming off a turnbuckle, because those ladders will
You don't have that
out,
spring.
and you will fucking crash on the ladder and not hit anything but floor and ladder. So for Sammy to do that, and the way he did it, where he touched off and then still dove from the ladder, that was pretty impressive. And that's like top 3 all time. I will say that the Randy Orton catching Evan Bourne in the fucking shooting star press.
I'll give you one better there. Randy Orton RKOing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah, I like that, but the intricacy more that looked really cool, and that's a top one for me. But the intricacy to catch someone to make it look that clean when they're flying through the air, tops. But so the Sammy one, great, but that one from Blake Christian is fucking all time, and it hurts my soul that PWG is not something that airs. Like, you can't order it. You have to be there live to see it. You have to wait till they put it on the DVD. It's just brutal to know that, because I'm sure if that's a clip that made it out, there's probably plenty of other wild shit that night too. So
that's the draw to that show, though. That's how they want people to go to LA for the Battle of LA, to have these crazy things happen.
Yep.
That's how they sell tickets, baby.
Yeah, they sell tickets, all 500 of them, because it's not a very big place where they go. Let's be real. Yeah. So even that, dude, PWG could be what we just saw at Hammerstein with GCW.
Yeah.
But they're not, because it's not a televised show. And that bums me out a lot. It really does, because there's some really cool shit that happens every year, and you have to fucking wait.
So, do we transition to the winner of the battle for this year, or do we transition to the injury?
Let's touch on the winner, because that guy's had the best past 12 months of any wrestler in the fucking world. In my
you want to talk about someone trending upward. It's the guy
Christ.
So quick question. Yeah. Joey K, would you touch on the winner? Yes or no?
Yeah.
There you go. Who was the winner?
The winner of this year, spoiler alert for anyone who wants to follow, please pause or fast forward the next 10 seconds. But in my opinion, the breakout star of the past year right now, and probably will continue on this year, Daniel Garcia. This kid is fucking awesome. Yep. From AEW, from all the indie shows he does, to Terminus. He had a great fucking weird match, but a great match at Terminus. The rules were a little out there and a little odd. I caught on to it. I enjoyed it, but people complain, whatever.
What? People actually complained at a wrestling show? I'm shocked.
I know. It's strange, but it happens. But Garcia is having the fucking year of a lifetime. You can build around this kid so fucking much.
Do you know why he's having an even greater year, Joey K?
Why is that? Enlighten me.
Why?
Because he met the one and only DDJ.
He got the rub. He got the
rub. He got the rub of a lifetime.
Man,
No, seriously, in all seriousness, shout out to him, because he's having a fucking phenomenal year. I'll watch that kid anytime he's on TV. I'm thankful when he's on AEW. He puts in solid matches every fucking time. The match with Sammy a couple weeks ago was fucking money. Like that.
What he's done with Darby.
What he's done with Darby. Dude, I want to see a series of matches that gets him and Danielson. Like that's
I'll do you one better. Put those two together in a faction.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Here's my dream. I'm gonna sidebar it. Here's my dream. Brian Danielson.
See, he's even got that dreamy look in his eyes right now.
Daniel Garcia.
Oh no, he just messed his pants.
I did a little bit. I
Both in
definitely
the front and the back.
I literally came under this table right now. Have them team up, and then they're in a 3-on-2 type feud, and they bring out their newest member of their group, and it's none other than fucking Jonathan Gresham. Oh shit. Like that for me would be fucking peak everything professional wrestling. And Garcia is the future. That kid is I mean, I don't like to say this that often. You're the second coming of somebody, but I mean, he's legit tracked. He could be the next Bryan Danielson in a few years. Like he's got that trajectory. He's got that style. He's got the work rate. I mean, what the fuck? That kid is so good. So props to him, man. I mean, and winning Battle of Los Angeles. If you don't know, you don't fucking know. But Battle of Los Angeles has produced so many fucking moments and so many stars. Everybody you love on AEW right now was in PWG.
Yep.
Like that's the truth. Yep. Go back and fucking learn your history. And so Garcia winning the whole tournament this year for 2022. I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know what else I can add to that. It was, great job to Daniel Garcia, and just, definitely, hopefully, we see this sooner rather than later pop up on High Spots, because I definitely want to get my hands on a copy of this so I can check it out.
For sure. And I definitely want to see the next point. So, Javon, how about we talk about that one?
The injury coming out of Battle of LA, and with it not being a live show, with it mostly pandering to the crowd that was there, we don't know how it happened per se, but we do know that somehow the man of the hour, Lio Rush, got injured during the show. Fan speculation, or at least from what's been told, is Excalibur was getting onto the crowd because apparently some of the crowd threw some items into the ring. From what I'm gathering, some of those items could have spilt in the ring. That could have caused a slip that led to the injury, or the bad spot that led to the injury. So we won't really know until it comes out how exactly it happened, but Lio Rush has been injured at the Battle of LA.
Best wishes, because a lot of times they're wrestlers we all like, they're wrestlers we all dislike and stuff, but you never wish something like this to happen to one of these guys, and
especially with this contract coming up in 2 weeks. It's a really bad time to get hurt.
Yeah,
and especially if it's like what everybody's kind of talking about, like basically from a fan, or fans, I'll say plural, throwing shit in the ring. Mm-hmm. Look, professional wrestling is dangerous as fuck anyway. There's been plenty of wrestlers who've died in the ring. There's plenty of wrestlers who've had their career ended in a match. There's professional wrestlers who've lost a year of income and their spot because of a simple thing, and they just wrong place, wrong time, step the wrong way, move the wrong way, whatever. It's dangerous as fuck as it is, and it's for our entertainment. The least people can do as fans is not be a fucking asshole and add to the element of danger that goes with the thing that we all enjoy here. I have a problem with that. That's, to me, shitty, and feel how you want about Lio Rush or whatever, and, nobody should be getting hurt because of somebody throwing something into the ring. Like, that's just garbage.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, anything else we want to touch on here before we call it an episode?
I want to touch on something.
Uh-oh.
Well, if it's yourself, hold off until after the show's done.
All right, never mind.
I was going to let it go. Go ahead.
That's all I got.
Go ahead. Touch on
I want to touch on this. So, do we really think this year that WrestleMania is going to be a blockbuster event? Based on, obviously, everybody knows the Royal Rumble is the to the road to WrestleMania, all that bullshit and everything. It already started bad because the goddamn sign lit on fire twice.
Yep.
They had to evacuate the crowd. So that's not a fucking omen. I don't know what is. Like that's some fucking bad news, man. That's a flat tire in the morning. That's terrible news to start your day. Do we think this Mania though is going to live up to number one, worthy of a 2-night event? 2, live up to the hype that goes along with WrestleMania? And I'm talking this year specific. So
I'm gonna say no and no. And I'm the optimist. I'm usually the glass half full guy of this.
Yeah, you usually
here.
are. You're the one who's always.
I think we're gonna get like, a small handful of moments, because we always get those at WrestleMania. But overall, I really don't have high hopes for. And even if this was one night instead of 2, I don't think I would. I don't think I would. My hopes would be any higher.
Yeah, Javon, what do you think?
That's a tough one, man. Knowing that I'm going to be in the
I was
arena.
Gonna say, don't be biased because you are going to be there. That's a different vibe. If you're there, experience.
Oh, absolutely.
So cut that part out.
That's where I'm going to head to, because last time, Mania in Dallas, it didn't look like it was going to be much. And then it kind of bloomed over the last month into the road to WrestleMania. They did AJ and Chris Jericho. We got to see Zack Ryder have his moment with the Intercontinental Championship, which was an amazing moment.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, realistically, there's no set feuds that looks like they're going to be honoring. There's no set matches besides whoever's going to be throwing Shane off of the side of the Cowboy Stadium.
Well, you got Brock and Roman has been announced for Mania.
Come on. That's, that. And, of course, Ronda Rousey getting her shot too. And we'll probably have, they love to throw in Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens just because they need a filler that's going to be greatness. But other than that, there's no real strong stories going in. They just traded Big E back to SmackDown. It kind of feels like they're not doing anything there. Cesaro couldn't even be put in the Rumble. Balor's in limbo. Do they do AJ and Shinsuke right this time? I mean, they kind of had a moment at the Rumble. Do you build off of that, or do they forget it happened?
They forget it happened.
It's too many questions going into Mania season, when at this time in years past, you could kind of guess how the Mania card was going to look. So right now I'm going to say no for both, just because there's too much uncertainty on what the road to WrestleMania is going to look like.
And the scary thing, real quick, I just want to get this in, and then I'll let you have your say. And the thing is WrestleMania always used to sell out even before one match was announced and stuff. Like we've already, like you said, we always speculate on what's going to be, happen and stuff. And, again, you're talking 100,000 seats per night, and that, but they announced Brock versus Roman, which is what a lot of people are, looking for, have been wanting, especially, with the way that the Brock and Roman characters have evolved over the years. But it's just if they don't get to the point here, like let's say we're I think about 8 weeks away from it or something.
2 months exactly. 2 months and a day.
2 months and a day as of this recording. So basically, when this drops, would be about 2 months out of WrestleMania. If they're still looking at, I don't know how many ticket, like in terms of percentage, what they've sold of tickets, but if they're going to eventually get to the point here in the next couple of weeks where if the ticket sales are still sluggish like they have been, they're going to get really, really desperate.
I agree.
I hope they do, because if they'll throw a fan access pass with the 2-night ticket, I'll get it.
Yeah, I don't even think it's so much that. It's just they because it's just because if they're bringing and that's why I'm pretty sure they had Brock and Ronda win the Rumbles, is because those are box office attractions that are hopefully going to help sell tickets for WrestleMania. But it's going to come to a point where they're going to just have to be like, hopefully they, they're going to either get really desperate or they're just going to cut their losses.
All right, so I'm going to close on this because I'm going to get going here because something's
It's about turtling.
It's about time.
He's prairie dogging it.
So here's where I stand on that. Javon, you brought a great point up about the last Mania in Dallas. But what did you say in that? People who are signed to other companies who don't work for WWE got their moments. WWE doesn't have the talent pool to pull from. And the talent pool that they have, which is amazing, there's a lot of underrated talent on that roster that they don't utilize, they don't use, they don't push, they don't put out there for any reason. They'd rather push nonsense than bullshit. They're going to have to draw from that. Are Sammy and Kevin going to have their moments? Yeah. But are they going to push a Cesaro, a Finn Balor? Are we going to see Alexa Bliss have her moment? Like, there's a lot of people that they don't utilize, and it fucking sucks. And I think they've painted themselves into a corner where they have their top handful of people here and everybody else, and they don't give a shit about anybody under.
Mm-hmm.
So, on that note, thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. This has been Shooting Shit. We'll see you in a week. Do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow the show on Twitter at SHOOTINSHT, and thanks for listening.